going.
Peter may have fired a bluff there on the river, but he actually made a pair and had showdown value, so he shut down and hoped.
4 big-time matchups left in the tournament. Let's talk first about Jason Mercier and former main event champ Scotty Nguyen.
Just take a look at these guys. They are 2 of the most relaxed in this year's field, and for good reason. Jason's picked up over $4 million in career tournament earnings at the ripe old age of 23, and Scotty, well, he's just been there, done that. Who else can get away with a tracksuit at the table like he can? Look for Scotty to try to play a really patient game and draw this match out, and look for Jason to prevent him from doing so. He's going to get after every pot early, contest them. I think that's going to fluster Scotty, so let's put Mercier through to the semis.
Okay, the other match has Erik Seidel and Peter Eastgate. What do you make of this one?
In previous years, Erik Seidel in the first round of this event meant a bye. The guy was 0-5, but not the case this year. I think he's finally cracked the code on how to get deep into this event, and let's not sell the guy short. He's an 8-time World Series of Poker bracelet winner, so I'm taking Erik into the semis, but if my luck with predictions is any indication, that means we'll be back here in about a half hour to congratulate Eastgate.
Way to play the fence there, partner. Pocket jacks for Eastgate. He raises to 4,400. Queen 7 for Seidel. He'll call. Erik pairs his queen to move into the lead.
And checks.
Check, check.
I like that check with 2 overcards out there.
Turn pairs the board. Seidel's queens and 4s in front. He bets 5,000.
Peter's check on the flop is helping keep this pot small in case he's beat, which he is.
Eastgate calls. Ace on the river. Seidel's 2-pair best.
Checks. Checks.
Both players check, and Erik takes the pot.
Peter actually could have tried to bluff. That ace is a great scare card, slowed Erik down. Ace-10 or ace-jack were very real possibilities in Peter's hand. Might have been able to get a king or a queen to fold.
Back at the featured table, Scotty Nguyen facing a slight deficit against Jason Mercier early on. Scotty with pocket kings.
That'll work, baby.
Raises to 6,000. Quick fold from Mercier.
Scotty not happy with that. You want to get action with kings.
Those pocket kings, an example of pre-flop good fortune, but it's been mostly the river that's helped these two sail into the quarters. Mercier passing a tough test first in Daniel Negreanu.
And it's a 9. Jason Mercier is on round 2.
Meanwhile, the cards started to cut in Scotty's favor right away in round 1.
And it is a 6. Scotty Nguyen moving on to the second round.
Mercier, in turn, added his own tributary to the river.
Here's the river. And it is a 9. Jason Mercier is on to the Sweet 16.
For his next trick, Scotty Nguyen pulled off an unlikely comeback versus Phil Ivey.
And it's a 9. Scotty Nguyen is on to the Sweet 16.
We love you, man.
But one moment between Mercier and Phil Laak took things to another level.
Just put it right inside.
It is a 5.
And elsewhere, Scotty's charmed run was far from done against Gabe Kaplan.
And it is a heart. Scotty Nguyen reaches the final 8.
And that's how we've gotten here.
If we stick to the script, it should be a river card that decides this one.
Scotty looks at pocket 8s, limps in, chasing with king 4 checks. Mercier pairs his 4.
Second pair and a good kicker. Now, you don't want to lead out every time like Jason's doing over here and develop a pattern, but it's good to just not give Scotty control of the pot when he's in position.
Scotty raises to 6,000.
I think he's checking for a weak lead here.
Queen on the turn. Mercier still trails Scotty's 8s. Check, check. Ace on the end changes nothing.
Board getting uglier and uglier. Scotty happy to roll his 8s over and take the pot.
Mercier does not look happy.
Nobody likes to lose a pot, but it's still early and he's not down that much.
You're watching the 6th annual National Heads Up Poker Championship from Caesars Palace, Las Vegas, the home of champions. Presented by GoDaddy.com.
The most reliable tell.
That means weakness.
In general, when people act weak, they're strong. So you got to just base what they're trying to do and do the opposite.
So many people know that most people just actually give off what they really feel.
The way they throw their chips in.
People tend to give away way too much information with the size of their bets.
When they announce their bet size, they usually like their hand, and if they don't call out their bet size, they're usually bluffing.
People not being able to look you in the eye when they're bluffing.
When they see a flop and they like it, the first thing they do is they glance at their chips.
When people look down at their chips.
The glance down at the chips is always very good.
I mean, to me, the most reliable tell is just how still someone is, you know, and where their eyes are going.
Particularly against the amateurs is the shaking hand.
A tell would be the nervousness.
The pulse in a guy's neck. They're more focused on their eating than actual playing on the table.
When your opponent says nice hand on the end and doesn't want to show his cards.
You know what? I suck at tell, so I can't really tell you that.
When you turn your head and vomit, I think that lets people know right away that you're not really comfortable in the hand.
I would not be talking about the most reliable tell.
Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies.
I gotta say, Cheadle's tell is probably the best one out of them all.
And he was telling me that he learned that tell from you.
Yeah, I actually threw up directly into his lap one time when we were playing.
In all seriousness, Erik Seidel, the only player unwilling to talk about tells, but that's simply his MO, isn't it?
I don't know, Craig. Is it his MO? Why is your pulse racing? You mean that comment?
I do indeed. Seidel with 5 deuce had called. Eastgate with pocket jacks raises to 6,000. Erik calls.
Seidel could have easily folded here, but Peter's a pretty aggressive player, and you don't want to do anything that would play into that or positively reinforce the behavior, like limp fold.
Seidel with the gut shot straight draw. Eastgate bets 6,200. Erik folds.
Gut shot not enough to interest Erik there.
Who you beat yesterday?
Peter DeCorver and Phil Locke.
Oh.
At the featured table, Scotty wins chip lead, now 25,000 over Jason Mercier. Scotty looks at pocket 7s, limps in.
We saw him limp with pocket 8s earlier in this match.
Ace-9 for Jason. He raises to 7,200. Win with the re-raise to 22,200.
Wow. You don't like seeing that if you're Jason Mercier. Ace-9 offsuit, such a vulnerable hand. Could easily be dominated by a bigger ace or up against a big pair.
Jason folds in a tricky play, earns Scotty some extra chips.
You know, baby, if I don't raise you with pocket ace, you know, baby.
No, you didn't have aces, that's for sure.
I don't have aces, but I have big pair.
Scotty being slightly coy about his hole cards there, a philosophy that makes plenty of sense to Erik Seidel.
I've never gotten comfortable showing my cards. I don't really like it. And at the beginning in particular, I felt like we were giving away a lot of information for free and that we should be compensated if we're going to be showing our cards. But nobody else seemed to feel that way. And so that's the way things are now. You have to make the adjustment.
Secret agent man, secret agent.
You may be giving away a lot of free information, but the reality is that the popularity of poker is based pretty strongly upon all of the television that's being produced. And it wouldn't be the same if we didn't see hole cards, that's for sure.
And whatever adjustments Seidel is making, he doesn't need to make many more. He's up in this match by almost 100,000 in chips. Ace Trey going up against King Deuce.